town did you grow up in?
Actually, I grew up in a little town in Pennsylvania called Langhorne.
Okay. And you went to the public high school?
I did
Did you go to their football games?
all the time. I mean, that was about the only thing to do besides the dances, you know.
Okay. Everybody went to the football games.
Yeah, it was exciting.
And not just the kids, the students, but parents, younger kids,
Yeah.
people, everybody in town went pretty much, right?
Oh, yeah.
Small town America, sports has become our integration place. It's become one of the major ways we keep our sense of community.
Yeah, it plays a huge part, actually. And there's many different sports. I mean, we would go to football, but I can remember us going to wrestling matches and, you know, baseball games,
I picked
basketball
football because nowadays it's the biggest, especially in some places.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
it was never my favorite, but yeah.
Okay. Now, there's a sense that the team is the beating heart, if you will, of a unit called the community. For good or bad, Sometimes it's horrible because the non-athletes are treated with contempt, and the athletes are treated, unfairly too, because often you'll see a very good football player who doesn't get to actually do his schoolwork.
Yeah.
Because the school isn't interested in his schoolwork. It's only interested in his football. So when the coach says, "Hey, I need him in the weight room," oh, okay, you can skip math class.
Yeah, no.
That's
and that falls over into many things. Yeah, no, you're right.
But sports has become, for many Americans, the building block of our community. And it's kind of cut in different ways. Okay, now I grew up in the Boston area, of course. And for the Boston area, okay, this is way before the football crazes, folks. I'm that old, yeah. The big Boston team when I was young was the Celtics. That was the Red Auerbach years. And if you came from anywhere in the greater Boston area, one of your go-to things was you had to get to a Celtics game. If you had never seen Bob Cousy on the floor, you just weren't a Bostonian.
Leave town right now.
And one of the things that was interesting is that all the school bands, the high school and junior, would compete for slots. I don't know how they competed, but they'd ask for slots to go to the games and play. Yeah. And they'd just play one or two songs. But the thing was that by doing that, they had identified our school. And I went and played once. I played clarinet and I played at a Celtics game. And I went to a couple other Celtics games. And that made me a Bostonian.
You were accepted.
The funny thing is, at that time, there were two baseball teams in Boston, the Boston Braves and the Boston Red Sox. Of course, the Red Sox were Ted Williams. Oh my God.
Remember, yeah.
I grew up spending a good part of, especially the summers, in Maine. In Maine, if you were a true son of Maine, you rooted for the Boston Red Sox. If somebody were a Braves fan, they better not show their head north of Kittery. Okay, but boy, if you were in a Red Sox, and if you could talk about going to a Red Sox game, and kids would hitchhike down from Maine. They'd ride the rails down. They'd jump on a train and ride. They'd hitchhike to go, and they'd go to these games. And one of the things people don't know, perhaps, is one of the reasons that Ted Williams is such a hero in baseball as the time. I mean, beside the fact that, yes, he was a great player, and B, he was a true patriot who spent part of his best years fighting for our country. But the thing that was most important to people in Maine was he was a fly fisherman, not just a fly fisherman, a great fly fisherman, a dedicated fly fisherman. And he would go up to Maine and fly fish. And that was part of why everybody in Maine had to go down to the Boston Red Sox game to pay homage.
He was one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was one of them, and they supported that. Yeah.
So what activity, I'd love to know from our listeners what activities they today identify with. For me, until recently, you would find me at theater groups, you would find me at classical music concerts, you would find me at dance recitals, good dance, professional dance.
Yeah.
Okay, those were my groups, my tribes. What are your tribes, Monica, at this point?
Gosh. Well, it used to be theater and concerts. My tribe right now, to tell you the truth, though, is the market that we do, the events that there's a group of us that do and get together. And I love it because you meet the people in the community.
Mm-hmm. And it's the same people. Have you noticed? I know when I used to go to the farmers market here up the road here, a nice one, and I would go, and not only was it almost always the same vendors, it was almost always the same customers. Mm-hmm. And so, I'd be standing in line waiting to buy my goat cheese. Yeah. And I'd be talking to the person that the week before I had been standing in line talking while I was waiting to buy my pita bread.
Well, I believe in the markets, especially nowadays, because you're able to get some quality food, and the pricing is quite good, from the locals. So it makes you feel good.
More important, you're part of the community.
Exactly. Part of the community.
Hey, folks, think about where your tribe is.
Yeah, let us know.
With another discussion.
All right.